souls. Well, some good news happened. Got some donations in from some of you, and thank you. I'm not sure if you want to be mentioned too much. I usually love to give appreciation to everybody out loud. I think people deserve it. Though either way, thank you. Some of it helped us get the car back. It was stuck on a road that many locals know of as quite the circus. And it already had a bunch of things picked out of it. My radio. Thankfully, the friend that I had, a fellow mechanic, although he doesn't have osteoarthritis like I do, so he helped me kind of piece some of it back together, put some things back in that got picked apart, and I just was able to put a new battery in it. They paid for a starter, which is really awesome, and now it runs again. It needs a little bit of a tune-up, but it's nice to have backup shelter if we're either not able to. I mean, we can't keep staying in the hotel. I mean, we have friends that are helping with it, but it's not feasible. Like, that's a good way to keep losing money. So either way, it gives us a little more legroom, especially as with the arthritis. Like, I'm not like emotionally opposed to taking buses and doing things like that, but as only one person, especially with until we have a more permanent place, my son who's with us, my oldest, is, I mean, he's responsible for his emotional support bird, and he's the bird's emotional support as much as the other way around. So, and being moved around a lot, and having my parents try to hurt him rather than let him go peacefully and calmly with us when they kicked us out. That, I don't know. Let's just say the bird has never been happier than to have time alone with my son, and vice versa. But it makes it complicated on, like, saying, "Hey kiddo, come with me. Let's go get extra groceries." So it's what I can carry myself and with my backpack and stuff. Anyways, I don't have a lot of charge on my phone right now. I also left my spare battery charger with the friend who helped me, so I'm gonna get that packed tomorrow. But I don't know. I just figure when the time allows itself to be there, I should have brought a drink out with me. Anyways, when the time allows itself, I'm gonna get on and chat with you. Both because it's good for my mental health, and two because, well, what else, right? I spent a lot of the day talking with different people. I put out on my Facebook that we're trying to find more stable shelter and stuff. And it's funny because, like, it's not just like how much will it cost or where is it, because my son would still like to go back to school. He'd like to be able to at least finish out the 10th grade year, and he's considering going to the community colleges, which offer programs where you can get a GED and study for an associate's degree, and even do a transferable one to like a university, which I'd really like to see him do. I don't know how the heck we're going to make that happen in this current situation, but I know it can be done. And I know that there's a lot of people in the communities that I've been a part of that want to see that happen. I mean, education is a beautiful thing, and it can do a lot for you as an adult. And a lot of the people in our families, I want to say either they were given excuses by their parents or they had their own codependent excuses for why they didn't finish out college or have, more options or choices like that. And a lot of the world gets like that. And I don't want to see that happen to my kids as much as I can avoid it. And I don't know, it's funny. I don't know if it's funny. It's not ironic, but there's so, I don't know. I don't know what the word is for it. It's an interesting situation to be effectively sitting here homeless, worried more about my son getting to school than, like, I mean, I am worried about money, but I was talking to a friend the other day about, like, I mean, all of the apartments, even a studio apartment anywhere in Washington State, which has the better schools and like, at least it used to be better welfare access. After going through it for many years and then seeing how it is now, there's I mean, it's not just the regular homeless population from the economic hits going throughout the state. It's also a lot of people have come up here from southern states because of Hurricane Ida and stuff like that. So resources are like super thin, and also, politicians like to make sure their pockets are lined. And but, like, I mean, I know so many that just get worried about money. I mean, I could work my body to the bone. I could just make lots and lots of money at any old job that would get us that. But then, like, one of the challenges that I've had with my oldest son, how do I be his mom? How do I spend time with him? Like my parents did that to me, and they weren't at home arguing with me or making me feel like I was the reason that everything sucked. Like, and I was an only child, and I'm not saying I like hated being alone a lot, but I wanted to have connection with my parents, and especially connection to where they weren't constantly tired or stressed out. And I remember even as a kid, I could see it. Like, you got to choose. You got to choose to want to be happy. You got to choose to want to make the time. And my family, like a lot, it's like, why did you have a kid if you weren't intending on making that time in that space? Like, my oldest wasn't a planned pregnancy, though I was excited that I was pregnant with him. I thought all the different things we could do together, and fortunately, my DM, even being 7 years older than me, has typically always been far immature than I am and far more codependent, a lot like my family and his family. So, my best intentions, it ended up being a lot of time chasing him, chasing other people, keep towers falling, and my oldest son didn't get a lot of time with anybody. And on top of that, a lot of the other adults were using him as a pawn and using him to try to rile people up or blaming him for my DM's lost old marriage and shit like that. It's just not cool. To do it with all the kids. It's not just him, but to get a large brunt of it. And I mean, if it's to avoid having to make a man to get by, which is whatever all the other women seem to do, or getting into low vibe stuff, if what it takes is to just work my butt off and try to help make sure he's comfortable and stuff like that, I mean, I'll do it. Like, I'll do whatever it takes, though. For my mental health and his mental health, I know that it's more than just somebody providing shelter. And, like, we're humans, we're social creatures. We need more of that. And he's on the autism spectrum, too. He's very, very high functioning, though it's still there, you know? And I don't know. It's interesting to be sitting feeling, being able to flow, doing a lot of my own self work and stuff on self love. Like, I can flow in and out of emotions at a healthy level. They used to be very slow to build, and then they would take forever. I would be stuck in them and spun out. And now it's like, no. Like, the video I did yesterday, I was in those feelings, and they didn't stay forever. It was nice to be able to express them. Like, a lot of the times I'm just going and going, like, I gotta do this, I gotta catch this bus to go to that place to get this thing to get back, and don't forget to do this or that, which can be a challenge with neurodivergence. And then adding osteoarthritis to it, it's like, it's not just a neurological challenge, it's a physical challenge, managing the wounds here and there. And then of the people that are helping, making sure that I'm appreciating them and communicating with them, letting them know what I am doing or am not able to do, or what I can think that I need help with. And I don't know, there's a weird balance even between, like, asking for help, doing videos where I'm asking for help and stuff like that. And I got pretty much anybody who's actually been on the side of either trying to sabotage things, or they're just unhappy about the role they've created for themselves in these stories, has been trying to sabotage us getting help. And it's like, if I was really wrong and just being immature about talking about that stuff, then that would not be something that people would be doing. But it is. It just proves my point. Though, I don't know. I think the biggest point that's getting about these days, the flex, the real flex, is that I'm going to keep going. I'm going to stay grateful. Yeah, I'm going to have my moments where it's like, this is hard. I try not to go there very much, because the more we tell ourselves it's hard, we manifest that it's hard. But we can't be in a place where we don't feel it. You know what I mean? Where you're just like, I can never feel it. I can never have emotions. I can never do that thing. No, you want to be in a space where, yeah, you acknowledge sometimes it's heavy. Sometimes it's frustrating. Sometimes it's say I don't feel like I'm lonely much anymore, but like it can be, you know? And there's different times between am I going to have to separate me and my oldest and his bird, or like do we go into situations with people that say like can be with them, but I know they don't have great boundaries, or they're still working on healing stuff? Do we end up in another situation like that? Or do we risk shelters and all sorts of unsundry things that could increase challenges in our situation, you know? Or I've gotten some offers from people that are like out in the middle of nowhere, but it would challenge my kiddo being able to go to school, you know what I mean? And then there's all the emotions of not only accepting assistance, but asking for it and not beating myself up for it. Because that's definitely something I was conditioned growing up, is you should never ask for help, and if you do, you should feel like the most awful person in the world, which I don't agree with, though. It's still there, you know? I think the real flex is that I trust myself. I trust spirit. I know that I've done so many good things in this world. I still do. Even when I don't have it, I just put a post up the other day. I just gave someone $5. That was one of my last $5, so they could have one more room in their night. But they had to go try to live in their car with. Oh, also had a starter problem, you know. And I bought a gal that was homeless over at 7-Eleven. I used my food stamps and got her a pizza and a Pepsi. You know, like little things make a big difference sometimes. And I don't know what all differences those are going to make. I just know that it feels good to be kind. And I know the ripple effects make a difference. And you never know when you might come across someone again and they'll be like, hey, you're that person who helped me, you know? Like some of you that have been donating, like I really appreciate the notes that you put with your nations about there's something that I said or some things that I do that have helped you through hard moments. And you're the ones that end up reciprocating when you didn't have to. Hey, Nurse Oasis. Yeah, it is ridiculous how people stigmatize things, but it's also, you know, the stigma of like you can never be vulnerable. You never have a weak moment, and if you do, don't ever show it to anybody, you know. Don't ever ask for help and, you know, things like that. I'm checking my battery just a second. Okay, I got 1%. I'm probably going to have to get off of here. You're a single mom on a budget. Yeah, you can if you'd like to. I'll put it in the description box, or I'll put it in the community section. It's polyventurous@gmail.com, and thank you, because obviously I know what it's like to be a single mom trying to do this stuff. Anyways, y'all, I'm not so good at doing scheduled videos, but being that I'm at 1% of my battery and I have to share a charger with my son at the moment until I can get my charging box back. I don't know. Leave me some comments, you know. I can come on and check them in a little while. Until then, I'm going to go in and stay warm and keep my son focused on things that make him happy. I've been telling him that's his job. You know what I mean? Care for your bird and think about beautiful, wonderful things that are coming. Like that phasing, it really matters. So I'm going to go enjoy some time with him while I have the chance to, because tomorrow I got to do a lot more work and trying to find us a stable place to be, some more money to flow in, and some magic to happen. I will stay warm. You guys all be good too, and thank you so much. Bless you all.